Taste like?
It's good. Good morning. We are starting off our first day in Nepal in the Monkey Temple, and we are going to actually visit 4 total UNESCO sites today. So yeah, looking forward to discovering this beautiful country. All right, next stop we are at the Patan Royal Palace. There are many temples and all sorts of various religious things that you can find here from all sorts of centuries, 17th and earlier. So it's just amazing so far. Come into the museum, you see what this palace is really known for, which is its metalwork. There's beautiful pieces in here. Definitely come check it out. We're at the Boudhanath, and behind me is the Stupa, which is the largest in the world.
One shot. You cannot do 2 times. One shot. One time shot. the local farmer who was working outside of Kathmandu and in hillside, he found February between March, there is a festival which is a yearly. 2016-17. So, October will be more strong. So, alcohol will be more strong.
Good evening. We are in Pokhara now. We left Kathmandu today, and no video was done yesterday summing up our day or talking about what happened on our rest day. To sum things up quickly, on our rest day, Chrissy was not feeling well. We ended up actually going to one of the clinics that services actually travelers. For whatever reason, that was one of their specialities. So we were able to see people quickly and get tests done so that Chrissy could figure out what the heck's going on with her, but she's doing well with everything that the tests were saying. Yesterday was just a day of then us initially resting, and then Chrissy decided she wanted to go see Durbar Square, and we checked it out. Ended up needing 2,000 rupees to be able to get into the temple area, in which should have known that we're pretty much charged $16 anytime we step on a temple area or square area here in Nepal as a foreigner. And initially we were going to be just traveling around inside the area ourselves, checking out all the temples. Ended up getting super harassed by a bunch of tour guides. Literally would not leave us alone. Like, we couldn't walk more than 2 feet before another person was talking to us. We ended up going back to the beginning of the whole thing. There was a gentleman who had pointed us in a certain direction for an ATM. Ended up being really nice, so we ended up giving him our business. And he was really good. A little long-winded in certain areas, but honestly, really nice guy. Happy we had him to show us around. Then today, we took off for Pokhara. It's crazy. Like, the traffic here in Nepal is insane, especially around the Kathmandu area. The motorcycles are probably the biggest offenders, honestly, because they try to fit themselves into the smallest area in between the cars, which then makes everything move much slower. After about a half hour from really only should have been a 15-minute car ride to the airport, we got to the airport. And the booking person who gave us our tickets was trying to be nice and try to get us on an earlier flight, because we ended up showing about 20 minutes before an earlier flight with the same airline for Pokhara. Ends up that flight ended up getting delayed. We ended up not leaving until the normal time of our previous flight that we were attached to. So we were there about another hour and a half before we ended up leaving for Pokhara. It happens. So we get to Pokhara and no driver. Our hotel was supposed to have a driver there to pick us up at the airport. Try to call the driver. Nothing. Busy signal, or actually a message telling us that the line is busy. I ended up going to Google Maps and found a different number for the hotel, got somebody. Big whole miscommunication thing, I guess. They were expecting us to arrive earlier because we said we were arriving earlier. There was just a lot of messages going around about when we were arriving. It got figured out. We eventually got picked up by the people we were supposed to, got to our hotel, and then we've been chilling ever since. So tomorrow's another rest day. We'll probably walk around the lake a little bit. We'll see how Chrissy feels, and continue on with our trip. So in a couple days from our time, actually in a number of days from our time, it is currently the 23rd. On the 27th, we're supposed to go on our trek. So see if that happens. It's probably going to happen, but it's a 4-day trek. So looking forward to doing that at some point. But for the next couple of days, it'll be a rest and kind of walking around Pokhara. So we went for a walk and it immediately starts downpouring on us, basically. We only made it to the lake, got a little bit, turned around, and then it just started downpouring. You might not be able to see it, but it is literally hailing right now. Well, we have finished our time here in Nepal, and it was a little earlier than we wanted to. We enjoyed visiting all of the temples, experiencing the cultures that are Hinduism and Buddhism.
Yeah, learning about that was very interesting. A little bit of a mind dump, but it was very interesting to see that in practice.
Yeah, unfortunately, everything else about Nepal it was extremely stressful. We ended up getting sick, both of us. Chrissy for one other reason. Unfortunately, her health kind of took a hit. Overall, really stressed out, really tired after as long as we've been journeying. I think we just kind of need to get a reset, and we decided really last minute to head back to the United States. Now, this probably isn't the end of our journey. We're going to look at what countries opening up in Asia are going to look like going into the future and see what the next step for us is. But we're going to go home, we're going to recharge, and look forward to the next part of our adventure.
All right, at the Pokhara airport, we got about 39 hours of travel. We're going from Pokhara to Kathmandu. We got, 6 hours to sit around there. Kathmandu to Dubai, 4 hours there overnight. 7-hour flight to Amsterdam, 2 hours at Amsterdam, and then a 9-hour flight back home to Minneapolis. So it is going to be a long day of waiting and sitting, which after getting over an illness, it's not so bad just sitting around. All right, we just got called. Flight number 2 to Dubai.
Okay, we made it to Dubai, and now we're just about to get on plane number 3 for our trip. So on our way to Amsterdam. We have made it to Amsterdam. Flight number 3 done. Our final flight is on the way to Minneapolis.
I always love the Amsterdam airport. It's got all these nice, relaxing places.
All right, last flight.
Yep, like I said before, last leg, and we're going to be finally home after 6-7 months on the road.